Well, have you seen any pigs gathering sticks or maybe woodpeckers sharing a tree? That could be the sign of a big winter coming up, according to the Farmer's Almanac. And Johnny from Johnny's Garden is here to give us a few more of these, I don't know, old wives' tales, some little anecdotes.
That's right, Tricia. It's interesting. I looked up on the Farmer's Almanac because I was talking with your director, Steve, yesterday, and he said, there's a lot of wives' tales about it.
Yeah.
And we've heard a lot about them. If the thistles are real tall, or if there are a lot of pine cones on the spruce trees or on the evergreen trees, then that's a sign of a heavy winter. Well, I didn't find either one of those two, but they're related because it's all about plant and animal behavior.
It is. And you know what? I mean, this has been going around years and years and years and years, and there's probably a little bit of truth to it. In fact, I was just on a hike the other week, and I was telling a friend that wasn't from here, and I was explaining that tale of like, okay, if this plant is a certain height, that means the snow is going to reach that, So it's kind of fun to just think about that and predict, because nobody knows until it's all done what the winter's going to be like.
That's right. And somehow the animals have an innate sense that tells them we got something heavy coming, because a lot of it had to do with animal behavior. Thick hair on the nape of a cow's neck, or pigs gathering sticks, or muskrats digging burrows in higher up on the riverbank, or hornets setting their nests high. And so there are a lot of interesting things that animals have a sense about, and we need to pay attention to that if we want to get a little jump on the forecast.
Well, and you know what? Taking a look at some of these: early arrival of crickets on the hearth, also mice eating ravenously into the home, and raccoons with thick tails and bright bands. That could be another sign that a big winter is coming.
That's exactly right. And it's interesting things like that usually you don't notice, but you might want to pay attention now that fall's here, and we want to see what kind of winter we're going to have and what kind of ski season we're going to have.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to see things change in our own gardens as well. In fact, with the shorter daylight hours, it's amazing. I know that my garden has kind of reacted to that.
That's right. With the shorter daylight hours, that changes behavior in plants and animals as well. And that's what starts to put the plants to bed and gets them to set their buds for the next year. So you'll kind of see a lot of the tops dying back. Some of the fall bloomers will still continue to bloom into the fall, but most of the time they're giving you a signal that it's getting ready for bedtime.
Okay, and if you have the flowers that are going to be coming back year after year, what sort of care should you take now? Should you trim them back a little bit so they can grow more rapidly and healthy next spring?
Definitely. Trimming them back is really important, especially in your perennial gardens, to trim those back and make sure that you get all the leaves and the foliage off to prevent the spread of like snow mold and other powdery mildews for next year.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there's so many things. A snow mold, powdery mildew, I didn't even know what that was.
Exactly. Well, that's why you're having me on, so we can get the word out.
Okay. Yeah, and once again, if you do have your annuals, when should you take them out? Should you just let them totally dry out completely, or is there going to be still life after this rainstorm?
Yeah, there should be life for the next 2 or 3 weeks, actually. Once you get the first frost, they'll start to die back. Some of the tender ones, the begonias, the marigolds, will start to die back, and you can either pull those out or just pull the whole thing out and call it a year.
All right. And then we were talking about this the other day. At what temperature should you cover your flowers, and what should you cover them with?
Start looking for low temperatures around 36, 38, 36, and you're going to want to cover them with a landscape fabric or fabric like a sheet of some kind that flows air flow. Because plastic will actually transmit that cold, and it will actually freeze right through that if it's touching. So make sure you do it with like a sheet or landscape fabric or something like that.
Okay, so look for pigs gathering sticks. How about the early arrival of the snowy owl? Be on the lookout for some of these. Grab a Farmer's Almanac and see what kind of winter we might have according to some of these past traditions. We'll be right back. If you want to contact Johnny's Garden, 827-9200 and johnnysgarden.com on the web, located in Minturn. We'll be back. Ty's got your weather details next.